The 7 darkest Courage the Cowardly Dog villains explained. Number 7. Freaky Fred. Freaky Fred looks almost harmless. He speaks quietly, smiles constantly, and describes everything in a calm, poetic voice. That calmness is exactly what makes him so uncomfortable. Fred is Muriel's nephew and a barber with an uncontrollable obsession. Whenever he sees hair, he feels compelled to shave it away. He calls the feeling naughty. When Fred and Courage become locked inside the bathroom, Courage has nowhere to escape. Fred slowly tells him stories about the previous victims of his obsession, including a childhood pet and a girlfriend whose beautiful hair he completely removed. He never shouts. He never chases Courage with dramatic music. He simply moves closer while explaining exactly what he is going to do. By the time Muriel opens the door, Courage has been shaved almost completely bald. Fred is not the most powerful villain in the series, but he may be one of the most unsettling because he feels strangely real. He is polite, intelligent, and fully aware that something is wrong with him. He just cannot stop himself. Number 6. Katz. Katz is one of Courage's most persistent enemies. Unlike many of the show's monsters, he doesn't need magic, possession, or an ancient curse. He is simply cruel. In his first appearance, Katz operates an isolated motel with one important rule: no dogs allowed. While Muriel and Eustace sleep inside, Courage discovers the truth. Katz feeds his guests to enormous spiders and has no intention of allowing the Bagay family to leave alive. What makes Katz dangerous is how controlled he remains. He treats murder like another part of running a business. Whether he is managing a motel, a resort, or some new scheme, his soft voice and perfect manners never disappear. Number 5. The Queen of the Black Puddle. After a rainstorm, a strange black puddle appears near the farmhouse. From it emerges a beautiful water spirit known as the Queen of the Black Puddle. She doesn't attack Eustace immediately. Instead, she charms him. The Queen appears whenever Eustace is alone, slowly gaining control over him until he willingly follows her into the puddle. Beneath its surface is an entire hidden kingdom where she intends to keep him and eventually devour him. That is what makes her darker than a normal monster. Her victim believes he is being loved while he is actually being prepared as food. Courage enters her world to rescue Eustace and discovers that the Queen's beautiful appearance is only a lure. She is basically the Courage universe's version of a siren, something beautiful that attracts its victims by giving them exactly what they want to see. Number 4. The Mattress Demon. Muriel only wants a more comfortable bed. Unfortunately, the mattress delivered to the farmhouse contains an evil spirit. As soon as Muriel lies down, the demon possesses her. Her voice changes. Her body twists into impossible positions. She floats above the bed and begins terrorizing Courage and Eustace inside their own home. The disturbing part is that Courage cannot simply fight the creature. The demon is using Muriel's body, meaning any attack could hurt the person he is trying to protect. Courage and Eustace are forced to perform their own chaotic version of an exorcism. But underneath the comedy, the episode is built around a frightening idea. Muriel is still physically present, but something else is looking through her eyes and controlling everything she does. The mattress demon turns the safest person in Courage's life into the thing he has to fear. Number 3. King Ramses. King Ramses may be the most famous nightmare the show ever created. After 2 thieves steal an ancient stone slab, they abandon it near the Bog farmhouse. Eustace discovers that the slab is valuable and decides to keep it. Then King Ramses appears outside the house with a simple demand. Return the slab, or suffer my curse. Eustace refuses, so Ramses unleashes 3 plagues against the farm. Each warning becomes more dangerous, but Eustace's greed prevents him from surrendering something that was never his. Ramses is unusual because he is not completely wrong. The slab belongs in his tomb, and Courage repeatedly tries to return it. But Ramses is willing to punish everyone in the house for Eustace's decision. His unnatural computer-generated face, empty voice, and stiff movements make him feel as if he came from a different reality than the rest of the show. Number 2. Mad Dog. Mad Dog is not a ghost or a demon. That is exactly why his story is so dark. In The Mask, a mysterious cat named Kitty arrives at the farmhouse. Courage eventually learns that Kitty is trying to rescue her closest friend, Bunny, from Mad Dog, a violent gangster who controls her and threatens anyone who tries to help. Mad Dog keeps Bunny isolated inside his criminal world. She is frightened of him, but she also struggles to leave. His behavior reflects a real pattern of abuse, intimidation, control, threats, and then the promise that everything will somehow be fine. Courage risks his life to enter Mad Dog's territory and help Bunny escape. During the chase, Mad Dog is struck by a train, allowing Bunny to reunite with Kitty. Most Courage villains represent imaginary childhood fears. Mad Dog represents something that happens to real people, There is no magical spell to break. That makes Mad Dog one of the show's most mature and disturbing villains. Number 1. The cruel veterinarian. The darkest villain in Courage is not the biggest monster. He is the man responsible for Courage becoming an orphan. When Courage was a puppy, his parents took him to a veterinarian. The doctor separated them, captured Courage's mother and father, and launched them into space as part of a twisted experiment involving dogs. Courage tried to save them, but he was too small. He escaped, watched the rocket disappear, and was left alone until Muriel found him. Years later, a painful memory causes Courage to become deeply depressed. Muriel and Eustace try to help by taking him to a veterinarian, without realizing they have returned to the exact same man. The veterinarian recognizes Courage and attempts to finish what he started. He captures Courage and prepares another rocket. When Muriel and Eustace discover the truth, he decides to send them into space as well. But this time, Courage is no longer a helpless puppy. He rescues his family and traps the veterinarian inside the rocket instead. The rocket eventually reaches a distant planet inhabited by all the dogs the veterinarian previously launched into space. The veterinarian didn't only try to kill Courage, he created the deepest trauma of Courage's life and then returned years later to repeat it. And that is why the cruel veterinarian is the darkest villain in Courage the Cowardly Dog. But which villain frightened you the most?